Welcome to the SabrPrints2A Show. Hey guys, hopefully everybody's having a great day. Today we have a special guest, Guns from the Grave. This is going to be the first SabrPrints show that we actually have somebody to interview. Give it up for Guns from the Grave.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. It's a pleasure to be on your very first interview. That's, means a lot to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I've been following you for a while. I think I've been following you since I started. So I think you were one of the first guys I followed.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. I know you were definitely like one of the first, few people that I was following as well in the community. So I'd say we're like the freshman printers. We're in the same freshman class.
Correct. So that's why I started this show, because there's a lot of people in the 3D printing 2A community that have been there for a while. Let's call them the veterans, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like me and you and a couple of others, we're like in the middle, So we're getting there slowly and surely. But all those other people that me and you started watching, like Control Pew, Mr. Snow, and Chairman One, like all of them, that's how I got into 3D printing, by watching their stuff. Now we have a younger or a newer community that's growing and is watching our stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I decided to start this show, to kind of let them know, hey man, we're also fresh. I think I've been printing for about like 7 months, maybe 8 at the most. You know what I mean? How long have you been printing?
It's been about last year around February, I think, is when I bought it. So about a year and some change. And I'd say definitely I agree. We're like the the earlier middle guys, and we all kind of started around the same time. And it seems like right now, everyone that started around the same time is starting to venture and do different stuff. It's really exciting. Like, you got the podcast, you got people making doing their own CAD and starting to release their own files. You got people just doing deeper things than just printing. So it's really cool to see everyone, that started around the same time grow and start to do, something different. So, let's see it.
Correct, man. So one of the reasons that I actually wanted to interview you was because when I started 3D printing, I think it's 3D2A, right?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Is he the one that does like the stippling on, like, with the laser and stuff like that, correct?
There's a few guys with like 3D2A, so I don't want to mix them up. But there's a guy. He does. His name's like it's like 3D2A, and he does like the laser engraving, and he does like he has like a room full of printers, and I believe he even sells like kits and stuff too.
It's him. So I started seeing him do it, man. So I actually wanted to get into the hydro dip, right? Like, I really wanted to start doing that, because I thought about it like, hey man, I started watching a couple shows with the hydro dip stuff, and I'm like, man, I think I might get into this. But then I had an incident with my family. I don't know if you've heard, my stepfather ended up dying from ALS, and my son also passed away.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I heard your first show, and man, my condolences. I couldn't imagine going through something like that.
Yeah.
And I did see you did say the community and stuff, that keeps you going, and I got the same here. Community, we're a lot of supportive people, and definitely keep you going through like tough times. You really wouldn't imagine what someone's going through, because you're always dropping that hot fire, but I'd say the community is definitely takes you away from whatever's going on in your life. My condolences, man.
Nah, man, no worries. But yeah, so that's what actually helped me get through those tough times. It helped me keep my mind busy and keep myself occupied. instead of overthinking and getting in my head, I'm not gonna lie to you, it hurts, right? And sometimes it just creeps up. I mean, it's part of life, right? But at the same time, I want to say something that you said. I want to repeat something you said, right? You said the
Mhm.
community is great and they help you out a lot, and that's why I really fell in love with the 3D2A community, because they're very welcoming and very they accept you no matter who you are, where you're from. They accept you because we all have that common cause where we want to keep the Second Amendment going and alive.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with you.
Okay, so we're gonna start to get into the questions.
All right.
First question I'm gonna ask you is, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida. I've been there pretty much majority of my life. The last 5 years, I was living in Dallas, Texas. Just wanted to get something new. Just a new change. I've recently just moved back. I haven't been back, for a year. So I'm back in Jacksonville, Florida now. But I'd say in Dallas, Texas, my spark for the 2A started. So that's where Guns from the Grave was born. But I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, okay, that's cool, man. That's amazing that you're like states where 2A is, very supportive. Because like me, I'm from the West Coast, and yeah, it sucks.
I never would have known. It's a lot of you 3D printers out there. I never would have known you guys were from Cali. It's a lot of you guys out there.
I always get that comment. A lot of people, they think I'm a liver tart or something like that. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah,
But
yeah, I know what you mean.
I always grew up really like into my rights. I'm first generation American, so my family comes from Mexico. So I understand how it is to actually have, like, I'm blessed to be American, to be honest. A lot
Yeah.
of people might not agree with it, but I'm happy. My family's happy here. So, second question, man, what got you into 3D printing?
Oh man, it's a long turn. I'd say when I first had a gun, first gun was like a Glock 19. Honestly, didn't really care about guns too much. Just had a gun, didn't just had it just to have it. Then say I was watching YouTube videos and I seen this guy on YouTube, Tactical Toolbox, does all these P80 builds and stuff, and I thought really he was just buying these guns and taking them to a gunsmith to get them customized and stuff. So it really all started with the P80s, but I had no idea people were building them. So I seen someone in the comments or something, or they just somebody mentioned that these are kits that you can just buy online and just make your own gun. So once I heard that, I just bought a P80 kit. Started with those, but then I had like two P80 kits. I'm like, man, these are cool, but I mean, they're getting kind of expensive. If I wanted to do all this stuff, wanted to personalize them. I don't want just regular P80. So I want to say around the time Print Shoot Repeat dropped his first video, I was kind of new into the P80s at that time. So once I seen he was 3D printing, I was like, oh yeah, I need to look into this. And I think I seen like a Louis Vuitton frame by
Yeah.
Are We Cool Yet? I was looking through their files, just looking at files. And once I seen that Louis Vuitton frame, I bought an Ender 3. So I want to say it was because of the Louis Vuitton frame. I'm like, oh man, I just want to make cool stuff.
Yeah, man. I remember seeing that frame. So you actually got into the 3D printing because of the P80s. My story's similar too. That's how I got into 3D printing, because of the P80s. So I started with P80s. They started going up in price, and it was ridiculous because I think in the beginning you could get a complete build for like around maybe 400, right?
Yeah.
Depending where you ordered it from. But like when I started looking into it, I was like, this is sketchy. Am I gonna get my stuff? So I started doing a lot of research. I remember I went to get one of my first builds. It was like $600. My first PPE build, bro.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
I think
that
the first one I got, it was like in the middle of the pandemic, so it was like the worst time you could get it. I couldn't even find one in stock at the time. It was like a hassle
was
just to find all the parts. It was like the worst time to get it
great.
at that.
I remember.
I spent some prices that I'm not too happy about. So I was like, yeah, this is getting expensive. I mean, I love building guns, but is there another way? And I found another way.
Yeah, they started getting pricey. So then started looking at JSD supplies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started looking at them, and he kind of started like doing snippets about, I guess, the 3D printing stuff, right? and then he did a little drop where he ended up doing the drops, and I'm like, man, what? You could print these? Um,
Yeah.
and then I remember I always wanted a 3D printer, but when like they came out, man, they were like almost $2,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had no idea they were like around the time, when we started getting to it, they're like only 200. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
You can get a 3D printer for $200?
yeah,
Pause.
exactly. So that's when I looked up on Amazon. No, I went to Control Pew, right? And Control Pew had like a whole section. I think he still does, right? Where he tells you what you need and the settings and all of that. Uh,
Yeah.
so then I checked on Amazon and I'm like, what? I got the Ender 3, the V2. So I was like, what? This is a good price, man. Yeah, and I just ordered it. So, what you were saying that you saw that Louis Vuitton frame, right?
Yeah.
So then you got that's how you were like, man, I need to get into this.
Yes, my first P80, it was kind of a little decked out. I had the
Yeah,
anodized mag release, got it the Safiri slide. It was Cerakoted, so I just wanted to deck it out. I didn't really see a point of just, I didn't see a point of just buying a regular P80 and just putting it together. I wanted to deck it out. So when I seen the Louis Vuitton, I'm like, oh man, I can really deck some stuff out with that. Funny thing, first 3D build, I didn't even shoot it. They had the old rail system, and then
oh
before I
yeah,
even got a chance to shoot them, I'm like, oh, these aren't even the rails I was supposed to be using. So I didn't even want to shoot it. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go with new rails. So I think around the time that's when Chairman Juan dropped his. And I'm like,
yeah,
well, these are good enough. I can work with this than the Louis Vuitton. So I just started, printing Chairman Juans, and those were the first ones actually took to the range and shot.
yeah, man. I remember. You're right. I remember seeing those weird. I think the slides were like put together with some Allen keys, right? It was
Yeah. You
uh,
mean like the first rail system?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they
That
had like screws in them. Kind of skeptical. I'm like, I mean, I was like, is this gonna work? I've heard people say they cracked easily, but I mean, I don't know. I was like, the new rail system seemed way more legit, so I just put the Louis Vuitton to the side and just stuck with the new rails.
said something about them cracking, right?
Yeah.
Was that like a concern for you that they might break on you, or you might not be able to use them? Because that's I see a lot of that for beginners, like people that are trying to get into the 3D printed game, and people are always saying, "Oh, they're dangerous, they're gonna crack." Or have you seen videos where the guy like goes and tests it, and right away it just breaks on him? And in my head, I'm like, "Man, you're not printing it correctly."
I don't remember me having those concerns, but because I was just moving so quickly, not even reading anything. Funny thing, like the first like 20 frames I printed, I had no idea what I was doing. I think I finally seen like a print shoot repeat when he dropped his settings video.
Yeah.
Up until that point, I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't reading guides. I was just kind of printing them and just doing my own thing. So my first couple of frames, I could break them easily with my hand. So I was like, oh, this doesn't really seem, I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong. So print, shoot, repeat, dropped his video. And after I got all my settings correctly, I had like zero concerns. I was a little concerned about the rails.
Mhm.
But once the new rail system came out, I had zero concerns. I never actually had a frame break on me ever. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in them.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I think that's what a lot of people nowadays don't realize, that they overthink it, right? They
Yeah.
overthink it, they over analyze it, they over try to figure things out. And yeah, you're correct. When I think we started about at the same time. When I started, I just looked at a couple of videos, Control Pew, Print Shoot Repeat, and other guys, and I said, you know what, forget this. I'm just gonna go in, and I went in, and I think my first like couple of my first builds were weird. I was doing the Mendes mags with like like a support. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Mine had a support too, and it looked
Yeah,
so weird and
yeah,
added print time.
yeah. Correct. So I didn't know that you didn't need to print them with no support. So somebody kind of told me. But I feel like the community right now that's getting into it right now, they have so much information.
That's what
You
I'm
know,
saying. I'm like, there's no reason that you shouldn't be scared to jump in it. Like, if you have any interest of 3D printing, you should definitely just do it, because especially like a guy like me, I feel like if I can do it, you can do it too. Because man, it was rough. Like my first frames were like 40% infill. I'm like, what? I can change that? I'm like, man, why are these things breaking so easily?
Yeah, so I mean that's what kind of irritates me sometimes, that I be seeing guys that don't know how to really print and start going in there bashing the community. I mean, I think in these last couple of years the community has improved so much with the quality of the prints, man. Hoffman, Hoffman Tactical. That guy is one of my favorites. He does push-ups on his AR frames,
Yeah.
So, and then now a lot of people are working with like nylon or that other one that is like half and half, and it's way stronger.
Oh yeah, there's like the 3D community people have been showing out, I'd say, and really defeat any argument that they're unreliable. Like if anybody says anything, like look how many guns and platforms the 3D community have done in such a short time. Like this last year has been like a huge boom. So it's like really can shut down any argument.
I love it.
For reals, man. I have another question. How did you get into the hydro dipping, man?
Man, well, I always wanted to personalize, my own firearms. Like I didn't join, like, the Louis Vuitton one was the first one. So I always wanted to do, I jumped into this wanting to do something different. So
Yeah.
I'd say around the time I seen Smokey Shoot. He has a YouTube. I was seeing his videos, but he was doing a video. He was spray painting OEM frames. I'm like, hey, I don't have enough money to be buying these OEM frames, but I do have a 3D printer. Let's try that out. And on my first Instagram, I deleted, but I was just, spray painting all these frames. It looked okay. I was even I have a picture on my current page where I spray painted a +2 mag extension and put these little other paint designs on it. So it kind of started with that, and then sometime on the YouTube videos, I found hydro dipping. I can't remember what exactly pointed me to hydro dipping, but it started with Smokey Shoots because I started spray painting them, and then somewhere down the line, I noticed people that you could hydro dip, and once I started doing that, I'm like, well, can take it as far as we want. Actually, I think I do remember. I think there was a guy who was doing airsoft. He was hydro dipping an airsoft gun, and I just bought like a cheap slide and said, hey, let's try do a real gun.
Yeah, man, you're right. A lot of that airsoft community, they go wild with their stuff too, man.
Yeah, they go crazy.
And they're using a lot of like the 3D printing stuff too, which is pretty cool,
Yeah. I definitely got me customizing my gun. I'm like, hey, I know it's really expensive to customize a real firearm to look like these crazy stuff people are doing, but I'm like, hey, maybe we can start experimenting with these 3D and hey, we can improve our designs.
Correct. See, that's something I want to talk to you about real quick. Okay,
Yeah.
Like you said, you got into 3D printing because you wanted to customize your gun and you didn't want to spend it that much money. And I believe that a lot of people that are in the 3D printing community will spend money for quality stuff. Like if we have our EDC or something that is gonna protect us, we're gonna spend money on it and make it nice, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we want to have fun. We want to create. We want to do stuff that is not, make a dent in our wallet, especially with the way the economy is going at this moment, correct?
Yeah, most definitely.
Have you heard what's going on with the Hoffman Tactical with that binary trigger he came out with?
Yeah, they sent him a cease and desist. I believe they're trying to they have a what do you call it? What's it called when you
Patent.
trademark? Yeah, patent. Yeah.
Have a patent. So they want him to stop making it. I think John Crump, he was doing an interview with Hoffman Tactical, and they were speaking about it, right?
Yeah.
And Flying Rich was saying like, "Hey, man," or I don't know if it was Flying Rich or John. One of them said like, "Hey, the people that are gonna print this trigger, they're not gonna buy one of the original triggers. The original triggers, I think, are like $1,000, man." Yeah, because I wanted a binary trigger for my little 22 LR, the one I made, the bento box.
Yeah.
I wanted a binary trigger for the bento box, man. You know, those binary triggers are fun.
Yeah.
Looking into them, and they were expensive. So, no, I think that the people that are gonna print that trigger, we're not gonna spend that money on buying it. You know, we're not.
Yeah. We're not trying to spend 500 to 1,000 on just the trigger, but
Uh,
I feel like they know that they just don't. They just want all the money.
Yeah, I guess what they were saying is that you know, they had to do that because they had to like flex their muscle, because if they didn't do anything on Hoffman, then other companies would have come along and, you know.
Wasn't there another company that they did get to stop that was doing the force resets? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I was. I don't really recall, but I just, you know, I want to get your take from it. Another thing is, you made the block right, or the block. What was it? The Lego version.
Oh yeah.
What was it called, man?
The Mega Glock.
Yeah. Remember when that thing came out? How hot, man! I was gonna buy that if they released it.
Yeah,
And remember all the backlash they got from that?
yeah. Even before Chairman dropped like his thing, I was so mad that it got so much bad publicity because I wanted one myself. So I was like, man, I'm gonna create my own. I'm gonna paint the slide to make it look like a Lego. Or I had some ideas to make my own version, but Chairman dropped his own version. I was like, yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Chairman Wong, man. That guy is amazing. He has done so much for the community.
Oh yeah, love his box.
So what I was gonna say is, how long did it take you to get that like finished, man?
Oh man, the printing. I don't know. The stipple kind of came out weird on that one. It didn't take that long, like a normal print, like maybe like 20 hours around that time,
Yeah.
18 to 20 hours, and then you got the top slide. I never shot it with the slide cover. I was gonna go back to it one day. Funny thing, that and my first paint. You know, you got to start somewhere. I put on Ralph's show, and they got roasted so hard.
Oh, for real?
Oh yeah, I think it was his first episode of Roast My Build. I believe he changed the name, but I sent in my Lego Glock and I sent in my first Glock that painted. Oh man, oh I got trashed so hard, even by the man himself, Chairman. But
What did you say?
oh man, he said, oh man, he said the setting sucks on the
Yeah.
Mega Glock. He's like, oh man, he got layer lines and all that stuff. He's like, oh man, this paint. Oh man, what are you doing? That shit is horrible. I'm like, oh, it kind of hurt my heart, but it kind of inspired me to go harder. So I'm like, oh man, I gotta do a little better than this. This was people thinking.
No, man. I mean, we all start somewhere, and you know, those layer lines and all that stuff, man. You learn, like I was saying, man. When we started, me and you, there wasn't that much info like there is now. There wasn't.
Really.
The community blew up really quick. Right now, there's so much info for you guys. If you're starting, I'm gonna say something, man. And I don't really care if people don't agree with me or nothing like that. But it's my show. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So,
do you think?
I'm gonna say it, all right. I do not like when people keep asking certain questions that they know I can't answer. I don't know if they're feds, you know.
Yeah. You mean like legal questions, like where can I find, or can you send me the STL link?
Yeah, or like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? Like, if I know you, I'm gonna talk to you about it, but I need to see consistency. You know, I'm not like, but if I go in your page, you don't even have a picture. You only have like,
Yeah.
I'm not. Another thing, like when they ask, like, oh, where do I get this file? Could you send me the file? No, I can't, man. Like, it's all you gotta do is look it up. If you if you take your time and Google and search, you'll find everything you need. And I always tell people, man, just like, hey, look up print, shoot, repeat, control pew. Like for a while, I was sending people videos. Certain people, yeah, I will help them out and give them certain information. But I noticed that there's a lot of people that have been asking a lot of those weird. Oh, I got a question. And if you're hearing, man, I'm sorry. I just don't really know you. But he sent me this question. I know you cannot sell me a gun, but if you would sell me a gun, like hypothetically speaking, he said, what would be the price? Come on, bro.
Oh, come on. That's what kind of question is that? Yeah, I hate those Fed questions, man. Asking what's the link? As far as I heard, you can't really. They're doing some type of weird law like across the seas. Like you send like a link to download it, you can get in trouble. So I mean, I'll point you in the right direction, but I mean, if you can't find what the information I'm giving you, which is pretty direct, I don't think you're going to be able to 3D print a gun. But I think you can. You're just being lazy, or you're fed. But you're gonna have to do a little work. But yeah, I hate those. I don't even answer questions from those. You don't got no picture. Like, why are you printing a gun? You kind of sketchy, man. Like, I'll link anyone to. Hey, I'll tell anyone, hey, just control the guide. Don't ask me for the link. You can't even send the link; it gets blocked. But I mean, just type in control Pew the guide, and that'll teach you everything you need to know. Yeah, especially from sketchy people. But hey, control Pew the guide. It's right there.
Man.
It's right there. I don't. And you'll always, anytime someone asks me for like to sell them a gun, I always put them on blast in my stories. Like, hey, we don't do that. And I try to inspire. It's a lot of people that are printing because they see what we're doing. So you might have gotten people that saying, hey, you're the reason I got a 3D printer. So I'll try to like set the tone. Like, hey, there's going to be people asking you for this stuff. You need to make that a statement. Like, hey, I'm not going to be doing this sketchy stuff. Don't even ask for sketchy stuff. I just try to like, inform the new printers. If you're getting into the, 3D printing, I try to make them as stern as I am.
Yeah, man. Another thing that I'm going to bring up is that, so this is what they're doing right now. If you actually share a link and they're monitoring you, this is why I wanted to start the podcast also, to get to know the person, that behind the Instagram. I want to get to know him personally, but I also want to inform people. So if, say you send me a link, right?
Yeah.
And say that it's the feds or whoever. If you send me a link, they can't really do nothing if the link is inside the United States, right?
Yeah.
They can't get no type of warrant, no nothing. But if you send me a link, and when you're sending me the link, they reroute the link to say come out of maybe Canada or out of England or whatever, like a VPN type of thing, where they can reroute the traffic. Now you could get the authorities involved because they could say that it's coming from another, like it's not coming in the U.S., that we're sending information overseas, things like that. So yeah, people gotta be careful, especially if you're using a VPN. I need people to understand this. If you're using a VPN, make sure that the VPN is inside the United States because you don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, and that's another thing right there. People need to understand certain things. I'm gonna make a review about this video that that Homeland Security went to this guy's house. This guy is a mechanic. He fixes diesel trucks, right?
Yeah.
And I guess he bought like a bunch of gun stuff for his gun, his legal own gun, and he ordered oil filters, right?
Yeah.
So when he ordered the oil filters, all of a sudden the ATF, not the ATF, Homeland Security came to his house and said, "Hey man, we have your shopping history." Like they had all his shopping info, bro, everything, and they said, "We think that you're making suppressors and silencers, so we want you to just give it to us." And the guy's like, "Nah, man, I'm not. Like, I actually fixed diesel trucks." So he went and he showed them all the stuff. He actually had an oil filter that was cut and open. So the guy kind of was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Hey, man, I have a YouTube video. I did reviews to show people what oil filter works best for your diesel pump." And luckily that saved them. But the reason I have a feeling, and that's what I'm going to talk about in the review, that this guy got targeted was because this guy was in the military. So he had served in infantry, and he was a lone wolf. Like he was in the middle of nowhere. He was a military person. He's a vet, and he had a bunch of gun purchases.
I was going to say, speaking of oil filters, I think maybe it could have been one of those risky sites because one of my followers sent me this sketchy site, and this guy, they were selling oil filters, but the advertisement is this video. It's this guy saying, "These are oil filters. These are not suppressors, but wink, wink. You can buy these
Yes.
And the ATF, you can skip the ATF. It was like a really weird advertisement, man. I'm like, who's advertising to sell, oil filters out there like that? But wink, wink, you don't have to use them as oil filters. So I thought, man, that has to be a Fed website. There's no way that this guy is out here advertising that and his website is down. So, yeah. So I think it's really, I wouldn't even buy an oil filter online, honestly.
Yeah, man. Okay, so this is another thing. Remember for a while they had those solvent trap stuff, bro?
Yeah.
Okay. So the solvent trap things that they were selling, like they were coming from everywhere, eBay, China. You would go on, didn't really see them on Instagram because at that time Instagram really didn't have that many ads. But Facebook, you know how Facebook has perfect targeted ads for people? So even on Facebook, you would go and they would show you this ad about the solvent trap. Well, it was like a sting, bro. So if you would buy this solvent trap, you would end up in a watch list. And like I was telling people, the way this thing works is that it's not people who are filtering the stuff, bro. It's a bot. Yeah. You know, somebody coded a program, they uploaded it. Now all the info is passing through this program. If enough red flags light up, then you're on a watch list. Now what sucks is that you're on a watch list as a terrorist. That's why the ATF didn't go. That's why the ATF didn't go to this man's house. It was Homeland Security, bro. So now you have a folder because they came with a giant file and they have your credit card history, your Amazon history, your eBay history, any type of history that whatever you bought, bro. They have it, bro. So this is what's so scary that there was a movie. I forgot the name of the movie, but this guy, they were be able to arrest you before you committed a crime and sentence you for it because the machine picked this up and said, "Hey, man, this guy is gonna commit a crime." So now
I think you're talking about Black Mirror. I think.
No, it came out in Black Mirror 2, but they made before that they made a movie. Yeah, I think it was Tom Cruise or something like that. I forgot.
Oh, okay.
He was a cop, but yeah, man, this is happening in real life. Now another thing is, now you got me talking, man. Now another thing, man, is with the 2A stuff, they're making it harder for us to buy weapons. Like I think in California, you're not gonna be able to buy P80 frames anymore. So they're cutting them, man. I don't know when, but yeah, there's like a lot of the suppliers that are in California that sell like polymer 80s and stuff like that. They're having sales. They're trying to get rid of everything before they actually make it official. They're doing this, man, but they're arming the Ukraine. They're sending weapons to Ukraine. They're sending weapons to Afghanistan, I believe, right? They're giving, like the Taliban kept helicopters, everything.
They got all the high tech stuff.
Yeah, man. And we are American, that we live in a place where part of our Constitution, right, the Second Amendment, we are getting that thing cut pieces by pieces, while other countries are actually getting weapons, bro. It don't make sense. You know what I mean?
I've seen this somewhere. They're saying, the same people that are calling for weapon bans are praising Ukraine for passing.
Correct.
So it's
man.
like,
correct.
That's pretty backwards. Because hey, I mean, everyone says that'll never happen in the U.S. Well, why do you think? Because we're all armed.
Exactly, man.
So that's my thing. So I'm like, man, if they take away all our guns, man. Who knows what can happen in the next 50, 100 years? Who knows what we'll look like?
I think it's going faster than that. To be honest, man, it's going way faster. I don't know if you saw this article where they're pushing on this smart gun, like a smart gun now. So I guess this smart gun is gonna be connected to the web, and it's gonna have like safety procedures where I guess you're probably gonna have to connect it to your phone and then type a passcode on your phone and they'll be able to release the safety or some stuff like that, right? Yeah. And you know what these guys are saying? That a lot of the Americans that we are okay with this. Nah, I don't know who they talking to, but
I don't know who they talking about.
Imagine somebody breaks into your house at night and you have this smart gun, right? Now you have to find your phone. Your phone might be off. You have to type in a code, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously, man. But yeah, man. So I mean, we're going way off topic, but
Yeah, yeah, I would never want one of those.
I mean, this is fun, man. Talking about this stuff is great. Okay, so one more question that I have for you. We already talked about how you got into the hydro dipping,
Yep.
and then one thing that I want to know is how do your friends and your family look at you once they realize you're doing all of
To be honest, nobody really cares. Funny thing is, out of all my cousins and friends and family, I was the last one to get a gun. All of them, they got their guns. I'm like, okay, I finally got mines, and now once I got mines, I was hooked. I'm like, I'm getting a little deeper, and I'm gonna building stuff, and I'm like, yo, look at all these guns you can build and you can paint. No one cares. So, which is also why I don't really post my gun stuff on my personal page. I think you see I added you.
Yeah.
But it's really not about a anonymity thing. I'm not trying to be like anonymous, or I'm not worried about the feds. It's just, no one, I just try to keep it just the guns,
Yeah, you're
So yeah, and no one really cares when I'm posting stuff on my personal account. No one looks at it. So, but when I finally made a page just for 2A, just for guns, I got a plethora of people. Other people do it. People want to talk about it all day. So I just log into my account when people want to talk about guns. So yeah, friends and family, no one really cares. They're just like, oh yeah, he's over there doing his thing.
I forgot also that you come from a state where guns are, it's okay to have guns. You said you were living in Texas and now you live in Florida. So Florida has a lot of those "Are we cool yet?" People down there.
Yes, they're actually doing the makers match soon, and it's really like only 40 minutes away. I may just pull up on them, just see what the vibes like. And I just
Yeah,
pull up.
man. I mean, if I lived that close, I would just go check it out. Maybe not input anything right now, but check it out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm not I don't want to be out there looking crazy, missing targets, but I definitely want to be around the culture, meet some people, see what other people are doing. So yeah,
Yeah.
I may just pull up on them. I think that's like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that would be super cool, man. But the last question that I have for you is, oh no, wait, before that, so let me talk to you about something. Your hydro dipping, man, has been improving a lot. I think I sent you a message and I told you, like, man, your stuff is getting way better because I've seen your stuff, man, and I've seen how much you've been improving. And I just want to tell you, man, it's amazing. Keep it up, man. Keep going because there's a big opportunity and a big need in the hydro dipping, especially for 3D stuff, because you could actually print a lot of frames, like just plain frames, no stipples, no nothing. And I think that would be the best type of surface for the hydro dip, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's why I've been using the new Mav 9. It's pretty smooth all around. So I've been using that. I think that's like the best thing to start using hydro dipping. And I appreciate it, man. I've been trying. I'm just trying to right now it's just a project thing, just trying to get other people to, hey, I'm not the best, but maybe if anyone else is inspired, maybe you may have a cool idea and you can come out with some fire. So I'm just trying to get more people into it, and maybe we can come up with some crazier ideas. And also another thing, you're hearing it first here, your boy's trying to get into Cerakote. So we'll see how that works out. But I'm starting to invest in the little machines, and we're going to see how that goes in the future. So we may put a little hold on hydro dipping for a sec, just to see just to learn the Cerakote. But yeah, I'm getting a little deeper into this. I want to see how that works out. So you may see some Cerakote stuff in the future from Guns from the Grave.
All right, man. And for those people that don't know what Cerakoting is, could you just explain a little bit about it?
Yeah, as far as I know, it's like a ceramic paint, something like that. It's like a high quality spray paint, I guess is the way to explain it. You pretty much like airbrush it on with like an airbrusher. And with the hydro dipping, I was just using like a metal brush to take off the the old paint. So I'm invested in a sand blaster. So we're gonna try to see if that can get better results with the hydro dips as well. Maybe if I actually sand the side instead of just using a metal brush to take it off. Maybe we might get some better results.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that'll be really dope. And yeah, man, keep up the good work. It's pretty nice. Okay, so the last question: where do you see this community going? Like, where do you see this heading in a year from now? And what type of things do you want to do? Like after the Cerakoting and stuff like that. What are your plans? Or
Oh yeah, it's a good question. I'd say as far as the community, man, like when I said when I first started, there was like nothing, no type of information to now. There's like so many guns, people using different types of filaments. So man, I can only imagine where the community is going to take 3D printing in a year or even 2 years. You know, as long as we, stand on our rights, keep our rights, get to keep doing these things out in the open, that'll be great. So, I mean, who knows? I feel like maybe some of the CAD designers maybe could grow into manufacturing. Who knows? Like I start believe maybe you might see an ARC released as a real gun, not just a 3D printed gun. So, I think the opportunities are endless for the 3D communities because this is getting bigger and more designs are coming. I think more people are joining. More people are interested in building guns, and hopefully we just get more people on board. The more people to join and build guns, more more inspired to build guns. Like I said, when I owned a gun, I didn't really care, but once I started to learn how to build it and put it together, how it works and operates, it made me want to get more involved. So hopefully more people get involved. And as far as Guns from the Grave, man, I just want to build cooler, crazier stuff. My thing is all about bringing guns from the grave. Hopefully people can see guns in a more positive light rather than tools of destruction. Hey, it's like a personal tool. So hopefully I just make cooler stuff, just make people want to personalize their guns more. And maybe if they see, maybe I can inspire the next person to inspire somebody else that gets, people just to see guns, in a better light. It's just all about just making cool stuff, getting away from the old black boring guns, just personalize it. I just want to see more people do more things in the 3D community as well. So I just want to inspire more people to do more things and make cooler stuff. That's all I'm all about.
yeah, man, thanks. Okay, one last thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen that Bulligan shooting sports print he just did?
Yeah, it looks kind of crazy. You mean that like a weird Glock that's like all cut up looking?
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. I like that he's doing things. I just want to see more Glocks with like windows in the grip where you can actually see the magazine. I don't really care for when he took out the
window, bro.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he took out like the trigger guard. I don't like that. That's kind of unsafe. But I like it though. I mean, hey, I just want to see people doing crazier stuff as long as it's safe and secured. And I just want to see more crazier designs like that. I like it.
Like he said, man, that gun is just like for show. You might be able to shoot it once. That's it. Like he was just doing it for like the art. It's nice, man. I like it. Picasso.
Yeah. Maybe that design may inspire another CAD designer to make something really cool that can actually work.
Correct. And see, that's what I love about the 3D printing 2A community as a whole, because whatever's in your mind, if you're really good at CAD, you could create it, man. And it's not just it doesn't have to do with guns. It has whatever you need in your house, whatever you need for your like parts that break, you could just make it. Home interior stuff, anything, man. So that's what it's amazing. 3D printing is amazing. And then when you throw 2A inside, it's beautiful, man. It just, it makes a whole circle, everything complete.
Oh yeah. Also wanted to say another positive thing about the community. Like, man, before I even joined, I was thinking that 2A people were gonna be like, mad judgmental, like, oh, why would you ever do that to a gun? Like,
Yeah.
Why would you, just keep it black and tactical? But, ever since I, made the Guns from the Grave page, and man,
Correct.
so helpful. Like, I was so nervous, putting my stuff out there at first, but it's been the best thing that's happened so far. Just making my account and getting to know all these other people. Everybody doesn't even, like I said, everybody doesn't even make guns. Some people just make little tinkers, but you never know. You get to learn, and you get to meet people doing really interesting things, and I just love it.
Yeah, man. Like you said, that's something that I really love about the 2A 3D printing community. It's amazing. We have a lot of different type of characters, you know what I mean? Different type of personalities, and that's why I'm trying to create this podcast, this show where we have interviews with people like you that we get to know on a personal level, and we get to figure out who they are, how they are, and what motivates them. And that's my goal, and that's where I'm trying to take this SabrPrints2A show to, where we could eventually, hopefully, get a group of us where we maybe Fridays or Saturdays, Sundays, log in, talk to each other, talk about current events, talk about what's new in the community, and just, shoot the breeze, man. Have fun, make it easy for people that are coming in to come on the show, comment, make the community grow more and make it more welcoming, because they welcome me with open arms. So I want to welcome everybody that's new with open arms, and hopefully they get something out of the podcast.
Hey, you're doing a good job so far. Like, hey, I would have never known I would be on a podcast, so it's really a cool experience. So definitely helping me get my name out there. So it's like my first time being shown as Guns from the Grave. So it's really cool experience, and I already know this show is going to be the next hottest thing on the block. I already see how you put your time and effort into your page and your prints and everything. So I already know it's going to be the next hot podcast on the block.
All right, man. Thank you. We're going to end it with that. Take care, guys. Thank you for having us. And thanks to Guns from the Grave.
Thank you.
Let us know your Instagram and your pages, man.
Oh, yeah. My Instagram, you can find me on Guns from the Grave 1 or Guns from the Grave 2. It's my other second page. Or you can also find me on YouTube under Guns from the Grave. Showing you guys how to do some of this art stuff I'm doing.
All right, man. And for everybody else, I'm going to link all his info when I release the podcast.